thing I wrote down. Will that lead back to something similar?
I reckon it can do.
So where we're going with music? What are we talking here?
I think just music in general. I mean, my music taste has changed a lot. If I think back to last year, I did used to listen to all sorts of music, but I think if I compare it to now, like if I looked at, say, my Spotify listening history, it'd be a lot different. I think I've become open to listening to new artists and new genres, you know what I mean?
If we refresh my memory here, the last time we spoke about it, were you into more 80s, 90s type stuff, or?
Yeah, I like a lot of like funk and soul stuff as well, so kind of 70s and a bit of 60s stuff as well.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I listen to anything like 2000s UK garage, R&B from maybe the 90s, 70s funk and soul, 60s like the Beatles, and I listen to pop or just genres from modern day. I don't know if I mentioned it in the last podcast. I think I did. There's a rapper called Loyal Kana, and I went to see him play at Castlefield Bowl.
And is this a new thing that you've started seeing more live shows now?
Well, no, that was my first concert. Ideally, I'd like to go to more concerts, but I think the price of tickets now are just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not even like, it's not really worth it for anything. Like, we went to see Texas. You know, so my girlfriend's into Texas, and we went to see. It was like for the tickets and stuff. It was like nearly £300 or something, and then it was like, then we spent another £200 just getting drinks on the night. It's like just for a night out. But then again, you can also go into a scruffy bar and watch a band that you've heard of but is not big, and be like £6 on the door kind of thing. So it's, if you get lucky to like bands that are cheap to see. Don't know.
Yeah, well, it's like, especially with the Oasis reunion tickets going up to like 350 quid.
Yeah.
My dad went to see them in 1994. Was it 1994? Yeah, for £7 at the Hacienda.
That's like he did the thing that's like the bucket list thing in it. So you saw Oasis in the 90s, which is the best time. You saw them at the Hacienda before that shut down. Like,
yeah,
that's like seeing Elvis, you know, in Memphis in the 50s or whatever. It's like it's perfect, isn't it? Or going to see the Beatles in the Cavern rather than paying like £2,000 to see Paul McCartney at the O2 now, you know?
Yeah.
We could spend hundreds of pounds to go see Oasis, and Liam's voice, I don't know what your thoughts on it are. I mean, I know everyone started reacting to that video where he was at the boxing. Was it boxing or MMA or something? Can't remember what the two boxers were called. But there's a clip going around, and it's like he's singing really badly. It's not been a surprise to me. It's not like I watched it and thought, wait a minute, his voice is terrible now. Like, it's been like that since, like, it depends who you ask, but some people say since like 2001 it's been like bad. He doesn't even try and hit the notes. I was talking about this on my TikTok live. Is like he would rather have his microphone way too high, and then he's got his neck like that, and he's got his hands behind his back, and it just makes it hard for him to sing anything. But that looks like Liam Gallagher singing rather than any normal singer who would like have the microphone at a comfortable height. And it's like, he's done that forever, and it used to work in the 90s, but that was 30 years ago. Like, it stopped working.
So, yeah, well, it's a shame, because a lot of singers who were popular, you know, back in the day, lose their they lose their good voice. It's like Frankie Valli.
Yeah, that's crazy. Have you seen that on TikTok? Unbelievable. It's just like,
where he's lip syncing and he looks like a robot.
It's insane. It's like, it's frightening, but like, it's more just like, Liam Gallagher is in his, is he 60? I think he's in his late 50s, early 60s. But he's not as old as Frankie Valli, and it's like, it's not time for him to give up on his voice. He just needs to work at it. I think Frankie is like, there's no saving him, you know? He's not coming back. He's not just going to start belting out music again. But
the funny thing is about that, a lot of people I've seen in TikTok comments thinking that it's actually his real voice.
How would he like? He'd have to be like a ventriloquist or something to be singing without moving his lips. Just it's like barely any movement.
Ventriloquist when he's singing.
Yeah.
It's the same audio recording every time, every concert he does.
It sounds like when he does. What's the one he does? Grease is the word, and it's literally just the music from his vocals. I think are just lifted from the recorded version of it. That's from the 70s, the late 70s. I worry that some artists are doing that, but like when you hear Liam Gallagher, at least he's doing it genuinely. He's not using a pre-recorded thing. And when you hear Paul McCartney, he's doing it really, but it's just his voice is gone. Like Axl, did we talk about Axl Rose last time? We were talking about Guns N' Roses for some reason. Maybe.
Was it?
I don't know. I remember talking about it, but probably not for the same reason. But it's just Axl's voice when he did he started doing something with AC/DC. He was like the front man for them for a bit, and that tour in 2016 absolutely shredded his voice. It never came back, and now that's why you see clips of him just singing like a cartoon character or something. He sounds like Mickey Mouse. You know, you can damage your voice, but that's the question with Liam Gallagher, like, is it damaged or is he just singing terribly? Like the thing where I'm saying where you put the microphone up here. Would anybody not struggle if you had the voice, like if you had to reach up there to sing? I'd like to see him try properly. Maybe get a vocal coach, but I think he's too arrogant to do that. That's a big part of Oasis. Oasis wouldn't admit that like they need help in their aging years. They'll be a nightmare if they ever go like into care homes or whatever as old men. They just refuse any help. Don't need it. I don't need you to change my napper. I'll do it myself. You know, I can't imagine they would age gracefully either. Noel seems to still have the voice, but Liam's just lost it.
Yeah, Noel's got quite a good voice. He's got a very high pitched voice. He
always took it like the high note, like when you see them sing. What is it? Live Forever? No, it's Acquiescence I'm thinking of. When like Liam will sing most of the song, and then when it goes, when you need, that's Noel will step in for those higher notes, and then I didn't realize, but Liam literally just walks away from the microphone while he's singing them bits, and then comes back later for the next verse. Like he could probably lean on him more if he does like live shows. I wonder like if it's going to still happen, or if something's going to go wrong. What do you think?
It wouldn't surprise me if midway through the tour things got cancelled.
But you think we'll see them on stage at least once though before it all kicks off?
Yeah, I think it's such a wanted reunion, especially for England. I think even if they did kind of have squabbles, they'd probably at least try and do a few on stage together.
Yeah. Like
it has happened before.
Yeah, that wasn't that like before they split and they were having fights on stage. But at that level, with that amount of money, surely they never ever need to speak to each other. They never really need to be within 10 foot of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like some grimy band where they have to carry the drummer's gear in before the show. It's like they just turn up and then sing and then leave.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous.
And but they've both been like touring and they've both been performing separately, so they should still be comfortable enough doing it. It's just, I don't know. Liam, they were doing bad shows in the early 2000s, you know, so it's not like a big shock. It's just a shame. I don't know, but I'm not going to get tickets. I can't be bothered with the price of it, and I don't really need to be there, but I just want to look on YouTube of the new material kind of thing, or not new material, but the new shows. That's all I care about, really.
Yeah, well, me and my mates were going to try and get tickets, but before the prices got released, we said like, oh, if they're over like 200 quid maybe, we're not going to bother. And I think they were £143 or something.
Yeah.
When they were first released, it's like, oh, that's considering it's Oasis, that's not too bad. But Heaton Park would be the nearest place for us.
Yeah.
And because Heaton Park isn't actually a stadium, it's it's just a park.
Yeah.
It's a free for all. Imagine
Oh,
20,000 people all in one like almost big mosh pit.
That would be an experience either way.
Yeah, but it'd be dangerous. You'd end up getting trampled.
Well, I mean, you get trampled anywhere, any show really. But I think when it comes to it, like I remember, like even like before they split up, when they played Sunderland, I was just like, I was looking out the back door in the garden, and I could hear the whole stadium. Like if you were close enough to the stadium where they were playing, you could have a drink and you could just be part of the crowd, and it kind of, as long as it's happening, and as long as you're near enough, then it should be all right. Should be, plus there'd be footage of it and that. But if you go on like Twickets, I don't know if you use Twickets or if you've looked on there, but they can't sell them for any more than face value. If you're ever worried about getting ripped off, that's then you can carefully choose how much you're going to pay. That might be an option. But I don't know. I'm not like in a rush to get tickets for Oasis, unless they do like a tour with Blur or something, like a Blur Oasis tour. That would be worth it. But
I don't think that'd ever happen.
No. But if
I'm not a fan of Blur personally.
So you definitely choose Oasis over Blur. I mean, I would choose Oasis over Blur, but like, I don't know. Like, if I put on a playlist of 90s music, I like to skip between Blur and Oasis and just imagine the rivalry between them. They're a good band.
Well, it's like that clip at the is it the Grammys or something, where Liam and Noel are singing Park Life or something.
Yeah. There was a thing where Liam had that Ask Me Anything or whatever. You know when he's walking around the field and they're asking him random questions? And they're like, what's...
I think it's Vogue, isn't it? 74
questions. Yeah. I like that. I've watched that loads of times. But it was like one of the things is like, what's your guilty pleasure? And he just says Blur. Like, you can imagine he would listen to Blur, but he doesn't want anybody to know about it. He turns it down in the car, or puts his window up. It's nice to think that like one day they'll just get over their rivalry and maybe do a show together. I don't know. It's a fantasy anyway. So those are the big things like musically. So you've been listening to more grime and hip hop, which when someone says that to me, I'm like, I don't know I'm not going to be able to know what you're talking about now, It's like, it's a genre I've never explored. We were in London recently and there was some grime pirate radio station on, and they were just going off on some rap battle. And I just thought I couldn't imagine listening to that full time though,
Yeah, I think it gets a bit boring sometimes. So I'd switch up, genres what I listen to. But if I go on my, say, Spotify listening history now, if I put my, songs on shuffle, there's all sorts. It's like...
Is that what you're doing now?
Yeah. There's like, let's have a look. She Moves in Her Own Way by The Cooks. That's quite indie.
When's that going back to, like 2007 or something?
Yeah, something like that. And then straight after that, it's Black Roses by Barrington Levy, which is like reggae.
Yeah.
And it just like, you just look through the songs and it just changes all the time.
Mine is very much like a lot of 70s stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is with Spotify, and I don't know where you would draw the line of like, this is what I choose to listen to versus this is what I'm told to listen to. You can, like, a lot of the times I'll seek out a song. I'll be like, I want to listen to this specific song, so I'll search in it, I'll put it on. And I usually will listen to it on repeat for days or whatever. Like, I get obsessed with it. But if you just accept, like, for me, when I go on my Spotify, it's like 70s mix. And then there's one where it's like Good Vibes or something, or Daily Mix 1 and 2. And if you just put them on all the time, you can't decide if it's like your choice or if that's Spotify making you listen to that. So then you listen to that. So then Spotify, it's like, how does the algorithm know? It's like, it's telling you what to listen to. But then that is what you listen to, so then it knows what you listen to, kind of thing. It's like an infinite loop kind of thing, which I'm trying to draw with my hands right now, quite gracefully in the air. Like, if I look at my daily mix, yeah, these are songs that I listen to, but I listen to them because they're in my mix, When you go somewhere on your bike, for example, do you put on one of these daily mixes, or are you like, I'm going to I want something specific, and then you search for it.
You know what? I don't really listen to music when I'm on my bike.
Oh, really?
See, the thing is,
Safety.
I've not got anywhere to like put my phone to control the music, so I always have to have it in my pocket and
Yeah.
like kind of ride with one hand and just choose what music I listen to. But I'd never ride with headphones in. That's too dangerous for me.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Thinking about it, like, because I used to do that when I was a kid, but I was on the pavement. I would never be like on the roads. As soon as you go on the roads, it's a different ball game, and it's like suddenly you're not enjoying yourself. Everyone's annoyed. You can just see them out of the corner of your eye, and you have to direct traffic, and you have to point out which way you're turning and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of hate riding. Like, as soon as I couldn't just ride on the pavement, I hated it. You know, it's just too much pressure.
Yeah, well, it's dangerous on the roads. I nearly got knocked over the other day
Yeah.
by some guy who was a bit of an idiot.
Do you have like a camera on your helmet or anything?
No, I wasn't wearing a helmet then.
Well, come on now. You gotta have a helmet and a camera on the helmet. I love watching videos where people have like they've caught like bad drivers, like from the cyclist point of view with the dash cam thing. I don't know if it's just a GoPro that they put on their helmet, but you should definitely have a helmet. Can we confirm that you've now got a helmet? Right. You should definitely wear it. No, you don't have to wear it during this call. There's not going to be any danger.
Too late.
Gonna put the helmet on.
Bear with.
Take the headphones off and put the helmet on. Also, is that a road sign that I see behind you? Wow. Now that is very safe.
Yeah, that works.
I feel safer conducting this interview with proper headgear now. I don't have any...
A bit tight, actually.
Yeah. You need to get it so that it's comfortable and you don't think it's too tight, I don't want to wear it.
Yeah. I did film a bike ride once where I had like an action camera on my head,
Yeah.
a GoPro, but I crashed.
Wow. So you've got the footage of the crash?
I've got it somewhere. Well, I didn't crash. Basically, like I was turning the corner and I slipped in this puddle.
All
Went
right.
sliding along a bunch of gravel.
Nightmare. As long as it wasn't like a
Crashed
car.
a few weeks ago as well.
So is this another one from like slipping, or was it like a driver or?
It was slipping basically. I was cycling around the area that I usually do, and this woman just all of a sudden stood in front of me, so I had to put my brakes on, but it was downhill.
Yeah.
Basically, what happened is my back tire kind of slipped. Then the back end of the bike like raised, so I went over the handlebars, and
Wow.
then I just slipped, and I like grazed all my forearm.
You got a choice to make. Are you going to learn how to drive, or are you going to be a bike guy?
Well, I'm looking at getting a motorbike license.
So you're going to be one of them. You're going to go from falling off your bike to falling off your motorbike. Listen, I'm not judging here. I'm just I watch 24 Hours in A&E, and I see that the majority of the people that come in have had motorbike accidents.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, they are. I know it's dangerous. I mean, I need to look further into it, but you know, it's something I could fund in the near future because I've got a job now. So